As a new Etsy print-on-demand seller, I know that it can be super frustrating when you're just starting out and you're not getting any sales momentum in your new shop. We've all gone through that phase and the wait can be excruciating. But I'm here to tell you that there's good news and there is hope for even your shop, because there are 3 fixes that I quite often see when I'm doing shop audits that will immensely help a new shop gain momentum. Welcome, my name is Mandy, best known for my start on Studio M Designs Code TikTok video tips. I'm a busy Midwest boy mama, full-time handmade small business entrepreneur, and owner of print-on-demand shops that altogether have reached almost 6 figures in just 8 months. I have a passion for building successful e-commerce businesses and simplifying the Etsy print-on-demand process so that anyone can feel empowered to start their own journey. If you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on any of the exciting videos and free courses that I have planned for this channel. There can often be a very wide variety of issues going on in a shop, but typically these 3 things are going to be the most impactful when it comes to really improving things. But before we dive into those, I really just want to level set your expectations. As a new shop, it will take time. It takes time for Etsy's algorithm to understand what your shop is, what you're selling, who you are, if you're legitimate, if you've got all of your attributes filled out within your shop. It takes time. There are a list of rankings that Etsy's algorithm goes through as it populates shops or searches, and so just keep that in mind. Just because you're not getting momentum at first doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing anything wrong. It may just be too soon and you'll get there. Now, there are some niches that are very popular, so there are some stores that you'll hear about that get sales right away, and that's okay too. Again, there are a variety of reasons why that can happen, so don't get discouraged just because this shop over here is getting sales right away and you're over here not. There are things you can do, and that's what I want to walk through today to help keep things simple for you. So as we dive in, I want you to do one thing for me first. Go into your Etsy shop, go into your shop manager, go to your listings view, and then on the right hand side, look for the sort drop down button. I want you to sort that by expiration soonest first. That means these are your oldest listings and will give us the most data to work with for these first 2 fixes. Then, if you don't already have it turned on, I want you to turn on that little stats button. It's a little slide bar. Turn that on. This is a great view at a glance for each of your listings. And we want to look for listings that have 0 visits. This means that no one's clicking on it, no one's interested in these, and these are the listings that we should prioritize looking at and fixing. Don't feel overwhelmed if you have a lot. It's okay. As a new shop, that is to be expected. Pick a couple to start with and use those as your testing grounds, and then go from there as you start to get the hang of the process. Now that we've got those sorted, let's go to fix number 1, and that is the SEO, search engine optimization, for your title. If there were any area of your shop when it comes to search engine optimization and where you need your awesome keywords, the title is it. That's because it is a primary component of your shop that is used for search queries. It's the first, especially that first part of your title, it's the first thing that customers will see as to whether or not it's matching what they're looking for. The title is critical, and getting that first part of the title can be so impactful when it comes to where your listing appears in those search results. One of the most common mistakes that I see in shops, particularly with the title, is the seller is simply describing what the item is. So if it's a shirt, they might just say it's a dog shirt, or it's a gift for her, or it's a mom shirt. General terms like that, even if you're describing exactly what's on the shirt, for example, are not going to get you anywhere with the search rankings. It's going to get you on page 40,000 after 1 million other listings that say the same thing. The best approach for keywords and titles is to combine a descriptor with who that item might be for. So let's say, for example, you've got a shirt that says Lucky Dog Mom and it's in the theme for St. Patrick's Day. So the formula that I like to use is, with each listing, or as you're thinking it through in your head what you want to use for your title, think about 3 facts about the item, 3 categories of people that it could be used for or sold to, and then 3 occasions or holidays that it could be bought for or gifted for. So for our shirt example, the beginning title that I would use for it would be something along the lines of St. Patrick's Day Dog Mom Shirt Gift for Birthday. All one phrase, all together. Because what that will do is it will hit on all sorts of keyword combinations within that phrase, as well as a variety of potential search terms that a customer might be using in that search bar. It creates what's called a long tail keyword, and it's a great way to start your title. Then I would add a comma after that and start building from there so that I can get close to or at that 140 character limit for my title. A little bonus for fix number 1 is as you're doing that, you can also replicate some of those keywords and combinations within your tags as well as your description. The more you talk about them in your listing and use them within your attributes, the more Etsy will understand what your listing is about and show it to the right people. So again, fix number 1, SEO and keyword optimization within your title. That will get your listing seen. Then once it's seen, we need to make sure that your customer will actually be interested in it and click into it, because that CTR or click-through rate is what will tell Etsy whether or not someone is interested in your listing and whether it's getting someone's attention. So then in order to do that, that brings us to fix number 2, and that is evaluating your design and your mock-up, particularly within that first photo that shows up for your Etsy listing, because that is the very first thing that a customer will see when they are scrolling through those listings within their search results. If your design does not match the niche that they're searching within, or if it's on the generic mockup or white background that you got from your print provider, or if the design is just not quite optimal to begin with, they will keep on scrolling, friends. So fix number 2 is looking at your mockup, making sure that it is aesthetic and matches within kind of that Etsy vibe. You know what I mean. As you're scrolling through shirts and t-shirts especially, there are kind of very specific Etsy aesthetics that customers are looking for and attracted to. Doesn't mean you can't stand out, doesn't mean you can't use something different, but the reality is you need to keep that in mind as you're creating your mockup for your design. It should coincide with what your design is and who it's geared towards, but it also needs to be aesthetically pleasing, and it cannot be the generic ones from your print provider. Those are not optimized for Etsy listings, and so they typically do not perform well. And then within your mockup, make sure that your design coincides with your niche and who you're selling to, and that it is a desirable design for that niche. And with that, I'll tell you right now that a lot of your early designs may not be that great, and that's okay. I will be the first to admit that mine were not that great either. Most of my early listings are not there anymore because I've learned, I've practiced, and I've gotten better over time. Design in particular and getting it to look just right and to have it be aesthetically pleasing within a mockup takes practice, and practice can take time, and that is okay. It is a learning process, and we all go through that learning process. So just keep that in mind and don't be too hard on yourself if you decide that you need to change your design or that it's maybe not up to the standard that you had hoped it was. So again, fix number 2 is the design and mockup of your listing. And finally, for fix number 3, we're actually going to flip the script a little bit. Instead of looking at listings that weren't doing well, we want to see what is working and try to replicate that. Want exclusive access to my growing library of Etsy print-on-demand resources, including the ultimate income, expense, and profit tracker, the color charts I created for sample printing, guides, templates, and so much more? Head on over to my Patreon and join my Rockstar membership, and you'll have complete access within 24 hours. Joining as a patron also gives you priority access for asking me questions, making video requests, and other updates. Hope to see you there. So for fix number 3, we're going to look at sales or favorites depending on where you're at. If you are getting sales on listings, fantastic. I want you to look at those, study them, and I want you to create more listings within either that niche or within that design style. Create more of what's working, both in design as well as in the keywords that you're using, because sales are telling you that those listings, number 1, are getting seen, and number 2, are desirable because people are buying them. So do more of that. And if you're not getting sales, that's okay. I gotcha. In that case, I want you to go and look at favorites. If you're on a mobile device, it's easy enough from your dashboard to swipe to the right and it'll change it to shop activity. And you can see all of the items that people have favorited from there. If you're still on your desktop view, go to your dashboard, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're looking for recent activity. You might need to click on the show more button, but that will show you all the recent activity that's occurred within your shop, both for purchases as well as favorites. And the favorites in this case are what you're looking for. If you're getting favorites but not sales, that tells us that your items are getting seen, but they're not necessarily getting through that funnel to the point of a sale. So one of the things that I like to do is take those listings that are getting favorites, and I want to copy those listings to a new listing. We're going to leave the old original listing alone and active. And on that copy, we're going to change out that first picture to one of your other mock-ups that you have. So this is called A/B testing. It's a great way to test out a different mock-up style or perhaps a different color. Maybe one of your shirts is on a white shirt and you want to see if a black shirt with the design does better. You can try that out. Swap that first image. I also like to swap out the beginning of the title and try out a different combination of keywords. This will give you a chance to then look at the data between those two listings and decide which one works better. Perhaps one or the other will start to grab the attention of customers better than the other one, and you can use that as your new information and data to learn from and build on. Okay, so let's recap. Fix number 1, SEO in your title, with the bonus of also taking a look at your tags and description if you feel so inclined to. But that's fix number 1. Fix number 2 is looking at your design for your mock-up as well as the design for the product itself and evaluating if that is still desirable and targeting the niche or the audience that you're trying to get to buy it. And then fix number 3 is we flipped the script and we looked at things that are already working in the shop and building momentum from that by either creating more designs from our sales list, or we are creating copies of items from things that are getting favorites and using that to decide which type of designs are working better. In either case, the big point of number 3 is to add more listings, because consistency and engagement within your shop is also a really big factor within Etsy's rankings. They want to see shops that are continually adding new things and continuing to build momentum and engagement for the shoppers that are coming to Etsy to buy things. And again, remember, Etsy takes time, and it takes time to build momentum within your shop. So don't get discouraged. Try out these fixes. Let me know in the comments if any of them work for you. Keep going. Keep adding more listings. Keep researching and learning from what's working within your shop. And don't give up. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. And I'll see you next time.